one of our favorites, of course, Jedd Fisch, head coach of the Washington Huskies. He did bring DeMond Williams with him. He brought some very talented defensive backs. He's got a team that I think knows that if their special teams are just a little bit better, and if they were just a little bit better in one-score games, then this Husky squad would have been in the win column in a much different position. Now, where are they going to be in the win column with a win total of 7.5? And Bud, the way that I see it, a boatload of toss-up games. I mean, when we start to sort out the Big Ten, Washington is firmly in the middle where you can't count Washington as a loss for a lot of teams that you might put above them, but you also can't necessarily give Washington some automatic wins from other teams in that middle pack. So what are you doing with Washington in a win total of 7.5?
I'm going over here. I think the Apple Cup's a lot more winnable now, so I do think they'll start 3-0. I think you probably start 5-1 here, and then like the back half of this, I like getting Wisconsin late, right, rather than early. There's a chance that team quits. I'm not saying they will, but I think if they do, it'll be more later in the season than earlier. I like you get Purdue at UCLA. That's a trip, but at least it's not a cross country trip, right? It's down country. I think this team has a lot of like high end players on it. The depth scares me quite a bit. I saw that Jedd Fisch said that their stud D lineman may not be ready week one. And I was like, okay. And I looked who they play week one. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. This doesn't bother me all that much. You have really like when's the first time they're playing a game where they're not a decided favorite? The right half of this schedule, right? Or early October.
What? Ohio State.
Okay, but like that's a decided dog.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Sorry, but a game that's like really for win total purposes, like truly in controversy, is probably not until the Michigan game. But some people think they can beat Ohio State, so I think that's an interesting one there. I do think Fisch is a pretty damn good coach. I like the high end talent on this team. Give me the over.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State will be favored and deservedly so, but like Husky Stadium's a very tough place to play and I don't know if Ohio State's been there before. I have to ask the Buckeye fans in the chat, but I think that'll be a tough trip for them. I'm on the over as well. I look at, the road game against Maryland. I'm not considering, again, Washington lost on the road to Rutgers last year on a Friday night. This is on a Saturday at least, but still they're traveling all the way across the country. It's tricky. And the Big Ten is repaying the favor by making Rutgers come to them on a Friday night the week afterwards. So at least they should get that win. But I think overall, talent-wise, I think the top of this roster is good. I think that they're one of the more talented teams in the league as far as the first string. I think the secondary has a chance to be very good. Like they brought in Taco Davis from Arizona, and I think that from both sides and on the back end, they have a chance to be very good. Could be one of the best secondaries in the conference. Could be one of the best in the country if things go to the right way. So I think that helps them against some of the teams that they will have to face. Like I think you want to have a good secondary when you have to play Ohio State, when you have to play Oregon, when you have to play Illinois and Michigan. Well, maybe not Michigan, but I just look at this team. I see 8-4 being more likely than 7-5, and FanDuel is currently offering me plus juice on the over 7.5. So this is an easy over for me.
I'll give them Colorado State, UC Davis, Washington State, and Purdue. Then, as I mentioned, the only certified loss, I guess Ohio State, but you make great points about that. Oregon's always going to be crazy, but this, just all of the toss-ups, I guess that I like that you do have a chance to welcome a lot of these teams to a new environment in Husky Stadium. And, if you've got that place loud, we've seen it be awesome. Like among the probably underrated and under-discussed home field advantages in all of college football. I think that the ups and downs of year one for Washington have to also be credited to just how disjointed the offseason was, where how late it was that Jedd Fisch got in there and trying to have a whole season of putting that thing together. Now you've got a quarterback who, Will Rogers committed to Kalen DeBoer. Like this is fully someone who, as he told us, that Washington's coaching staff and brain trust were invested in since he was in Arizona, going to camps as a freshman. So I think it'll be really good. I think there's a great plan in place. The depth questions are very legitimate. But let's hope for everybody's sake you get some good injury issues. in terms of the sort of number, I was very, very close. I think 7.5 is a good number, but I lean over and I like taking that plus money. I think 8-4 is more likely. So I will also go over.
Danny's lone undertaker in this one.